The KDKA Sports Desk is brought to you by Xfinity.
All right, welcome back. We continue with the Sports Desk, provided to you by Xfinity. Talk about some news today, KDKA and CW for the second year in a row. And now this is a part of a 3-year partnership with the WPIAL. We'll carry all 6 WPIAL championship games once again. We also begin this actually week with the last 2 regular season games and then playoff games on CW. Jared Barton, along with Chris Schneider, will be doing the play-by-play and color. Rick Dayton on the sidelines for that one. That'll take place on Friday for Peters and Bethel Parks, where you have a lot of high school football coming your way, and we're happy to announce that relationship. In the meantime, let's talk about some tweets we got here, because we have George Lochner who says, I have faith in Tyson Alu-Alu. Won't be as good as Tuitt, but he can get the job done. Hopefully, no more injuries. And that's the problem, I think, George and Paul, is that you're in a situation where now you're starting to really chip away at all the depth. You know, Tyson Alu-Alu is a very good player to have as a backup. He is a former number 1 and a good player. But to see him out there as much as he's going to be required to do it and also increase the time for Javon Hargrave could be good, but it also may be problematic in the sense that if one of those guys get hurt, now you're talking about really unproven guys.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. You take, a guy's a starter for a reason and a guy's a backup for a reason. And I think, one of the things that happens when you go to your backup is a guy that was really good in a limited role now all of a sudden has to take a much bigger role, not quite so good because it gets exposed for some of the reasons why. It's like we talk about in baseball all the time, when you got these guys who are really good bench players. And it's like, well, this guy's batting, 290 in limited. Then you put him in the everyday lineup, and all of a sudden he's exposed, and he's batting 220. You say, well, what happened? It's because in a limited role,
there's a role.
If you're a backup in a limited role, you have it's good for you. If you get it to play too much, you get exposed.
All right, let's go to the lines. We've got a lot of people out there who want to talk. We'll try to squeeze in as many as we can. Rick and Elizabeth, you're first. Hey, Rick.
Hi, Bob. Hi, Paul. Thanks for taking the call.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to get your opinion. I was on hold last night and it got late, but penalties are up 16.3% across the NFL. And I was wondering what your thoughts were on it. I'm thinking because of a replay, these officials are just throwing the flag,
gun shy,
more or less,
not sure.
Just to cover themselves, in case, there is something. But it makes the game very, very difficult to watch.
Yeah. Paul, what do you think? Thanks, Rick. Appreciate that.
I can't argue with any of that. I think that's the biggest thing is when you really take a look at it, if you're a referee now, you know that somebody's looking over your shoulder at everything you're doing and everything's scrutinized. These guys, and you can call a penalty probably on every play if you really look at it, Bob, right? I mean, if you really take a look at it, in football, there's so many roles nowadays, you could probably throw a flag on every play.
But it really has to impact the play. Nothing bothers me worse than across the field, there's a pass to the right side of the field. On the left, somebody is being called for, it didn't impact the play.
Or better yet, when there's a punt return and a guy runs and like 10 yards behind him, there's a block in the back that had nothing to do with the play. I think the biggest thing is football, the product is really getting hurt by all the replays, all of the reviews, all of the challenges, and all of the flags that are being thrown. And that's a problem because the game is supposed to flow and it just doesn't flow anymore.
Not at all. We go back to our Twitter mailbag, and Joe Hunter has this at KDPomp at Paul Zeise. He says, people tend to forget that Garrett Cole didn't want to play here anymore, regardless how much the Pirates would have offered him. That's not true necessarily. I think Garrett Cole knew that they weren't going to offer him anything. I also believe that he didn't like the way they were strategizing his pitching style, Paul, and I think if I were the Pirates, I would not have traded him when I did. I would have waited and waited and waited until his optimum high and get more for him.
They didn't have to trade him when they traded him. They could have got more for him, number one. And number two, it is true. He wasn't a fan of Clint Hurdle. And, a big part of it probably is the way that they wanted him to pitch. The pitching style stuff. But you also have to remember that he and Neil Huntington got off to a really bad start when Neil Huntington, I guess it was his second pre-arbitration year, when Neil Huntington basically, they had a quote-unquote clerical error or whatever it was, but it turned out it looked like they were basically squeezing him for $10,000. Do you remember that?
Absolutely.
And then they came out after they looked really stupid.
They should have given him $1 million after that season.
Exactly.
Just given him $400,000.
Whatever it was, yeah. But they didn't want to give him $10,000 more, and then they had to come out and basically say, well, we're sorry, it was a clerical error. Here's his money. So
it's not, and I think Garrett Cole, if you had held him even to this year at the trade deadline, but then who's to say he would have the same success here because he wasn't pitching the same way. Pete in Squirrel Hill, what's up, Pete?
Hey, guys, how are you tonight?
We're good.
All right,
Thanks.
real quick, Bob, a comment and a question for you guys. The comment last night of horrible officiating in NFL cost the Lions the game with the phantom illegal hands to the face call 2 times. But anyway, Bob, about professional ownership in sports, was the sole reason that the Chargers relocated to L.A., Bob, was it because the city of San Diego didn't want to put up any money to build a new facility?
That was it,
Why
mostly.
Why don't more owners, Bob, do what Walter O'Malley did 60 years ago with the Dodgers, build his own facility with his own money?
Because they're not going to do that.
Jerry Jones did. And then you don't have to worry about lease agreements or anything. You own a facility, and all you do is pay revenue on it. If you own a franchise, Bob, that's worth billions of dollars, why don't you just finance a stadium for $500 to $700, $800, $900, $1 billion and not worry about the problems? Can you answer that for me?
because rich people didn't become rich by spending their own money on things like stadiums.
But Jerry Jones had the right idea, I think.
Right, yeah, of course. But that Dallas Cowboys are a completely different animal than anybody else.
But all these teams are valued at really
I understand that,
high
but the Cowboys, the marketing, the way that he could get that money back with all of the marketing stuff.
Why can't others?
Because, I mean, the Chargers are different than the Cowboys, I think. Think about the national appeal that you have as the Cowboys and what that star represents and everything else. But again, it goes back to this. If other cities are willing to spend $700 or $800 million to build you a stadium, why would you stay in the city that says no, you got to use your own money?
Be careful what you wish for.
I understand
that,
but rich people didn't become rich because they spend their own money on stuff like that.
But if you saw the crowd at that LA Galaxy Stadium the other day, there is no interest in their football team whatsoever. And I guess that doesn't matter in the very end because they got the Taj Mahal that they're going to get.
Right.
But those people are apathetic toward that team. They really are. San Diego had a place in their heart. And I think there was a better way to do it, and maybe he should have just stuck around and tried to figure it out instead of bailing as quickly as he did. Let's go to Dan in New Kensington. What's up, Dan? How are you?
Hey, Bob, how you doing? Looking great as usual. I appreciate quality, I'm Italian. Hey, I wanted to mention something. I went to the Super Bowl in 1980 when the Steelers played the Rams.
Yeah.
And anyways, we walked from my brother's house. He lives in Pasadena. We walked there because parking's limited at the Rose Bowl. We got down, and there was tents and RVs all replaced from Pittsburgh. I think there was at least 50,000, 60,000 Steeler fans there. That place holds like 110,000 fans. But that was great.
Yeah, it's
Steelers
good to see it, and people still do it. Thanks very much for the call. Let's go out to Dave in Belle Verne. What's up, Dave? How are you?
Bob and Paul, I really enjoy you two guys together.
Thank you.
Bob, I compliment you. You was one of the first people I heard pick Washington, give them a good chance against the Dodgers.
I picked them to win it all, but
I also wanted to know
remains to be seen.
How you and Paul feel if Washington gets in the series against the Astros or the Yankees. Do you give them much of a chance, or how do you feel about that?
I think the Nationals would have a great chance against either, although I think it'd be tougher against Houston because of the pitching matchups. Thanks for the call.
I mean, again, what makes the Nationals dangerous is they can throw Strasburg and Scherzer out there. You know what I mean? If those two guys each get 2 starts, and one of them might get 3 starts, right?
Just like Verlander and Cole.
Exactly. If you have 2 stud aces like that go to the mound and are capable of basically throwing a no-hitter every time they go out, you can do a whole lot of stuff in a short series.
We're not even mentioning Zach Greinke, who's an 18-5 pitcher, but he's not the same in the postseason. Sort of like Clayton Kershaw, but he's on that staff.
Right.
Anibal Sanchez, really good, a veteran, 35, and Daniel Corbin, who pitched tonight, was a big market signing by the Nationals. They proved they could lose Bryce Harper and get better. How? by pitching better. Philadelphia will learn the same thing because they went out and put all the money in McCutchen and Harper, specifically Harper. They have no pitching to complement Aaron Nolan. So this is where they are.
And the thing is, their owner, they're going to go get pitching this
offseason.
And that's what they're going to need to do. I mean, there's going to be some free agent guys. The Phillies are going to spend the money. But, you know, what the Nationals have proven, what the Astros have proven, you know, if you've got a couple of guys that are superstars at the top of your rotation, remember the Pirates were trying to do that with Cole and Tyon. It never ever came to. But if you have two guys like that,
makes a difference.
You're in every series.
We're going to do for a break. We'll take it, come back with more right here on Pittsburgh CW.